Hey guys, what's up? It's Alec Torelli here, and welcome back to an episode of Ask Alec, where I take your questions, answer them in short videos. Today's question comes from one of my readers. Joshua responded to our welcome email that we sent out when we get new subscribers, and it's where I get a lot of feedback for these questions. So if you haven't already, check out our list at Conscious Poker. You can subscribe, and if you send me a question, I'll answer them here in this video. So today's question comes from Joshua, and he's basically struggling with the results in poker because he feels like he gets really attached to the outcome. When he plays these tournaments, he gets really emotionally invested. And so every time he plays a tournament, he's trying to detach himself from the results and just focus on the process of making good decisions, but then he gets really attached. So he feels emotional, he feels attached to that outcome, and it hinders his play. He ends up playing worse, and he gets in this vicious cycle where he's playing worse, and then he's making worse decisions, and then he's losing, which causes him to play worse, and the cycle continues. So he's wondering about how to get out of this and how to stay focused on making the best decision possible. In this video, we're going to talk about that, but if you haven't already, check out my last video where I talk about your power routine and the best way to stay focused and disciplined and make quality decisions while playing poker. I talk all about the mental game, and I break down exactly how I think you should handle the mental game in poker. It's really good content, and some of the stuff I typically only share with clients and students, so be sure to check that out. The link should be appearing up here as well. So bookmark that. But okay, so how do you do it? It's so easy to get attached to the outcome in poker because in other aspects of life, okay, I just want to step back and look at the macro here, the big picture. So in other aspects of life, we're typically always optimizing for the outcome. So when you look at something like a test, right, it's so important to score well, and you measure your results based on the quality of the outcome, right? In a chess game, it's all about the outcome. In sports, it's all about the outcome because there's so little luck involved in these activities that the outcome is always reflective of how well you performed. So we always just use the outcome as the way to measure the quality of our work, the quality of our decisions, the quality of our ability, because the outcome is indicative of that because there is no luck. So it's important to understand why and when it's effective to use the outcome to measure your results, and it's only in situations when there's no luck. Chess is directly correlated to the ability of you to move pieces around the board. Whoever does that better will always win the game. There is zero luck in chess, right? So, I mean, I guess you can say it's unlucky if like you get food poisoning the night before and you lose the match, but like in terms of the outcome, it's all based on skill, right? So we use outcome to measure things, but poker is not that game. You're playing a different game. So you have all of these games over here where outcome is indicative of inputs. Outcome is indicative of the quality of your decisions. School exams, chess, sports, a lot of things in business, relationships, a lot of those things are in this sort of category. Poker is a different game. You're playing an entirely different game with a different set of rules. So you have to look at it from a macro in a different umbrella. You have to compartmentalize it in your head and understand which game you're playing. You're playing a game where the quality of your inputs is not always going to reflect the outcome, because you can make the best decision and still lose, right? That is a very unique aspect of poker, and thank God for it. Otherwise, if there were no luck, it would be like chess and nobody would play for money. You don't see people playing chess for hundreds or thousands of dollars on the street because nobody's going to gamble when they know they're drawing dead. They're always going to lose. But poker, anyone could win because there is luck. So it's really important to understand which game you're playing, okay? Now that you have the framework, it's important that you're optimizing for the right thing. So what you're probably doing, Josh, and what many of you are doing that feel this frustration is you're optimizing for something you cannot control, which is the outcome. So you're optimizing for something that is beyond your control, and therefore your mental state of mind and your self-efficacy, like what you think, your confidence, what you think about yourself is based on circumstances beyond your control. It's based on which cards come. Because you can make the best decision possible and still lose, and suddenly you're feeling down, you're feeling inadequate, you're feeling like you're lost, you're feeling bad. Whereas what professionals do is they flip the switch. So what professionals do is they switch things around and they say, what I'm going to do is I'm not going to preoccupy myself with what I cannot control. I'm going to focus on what I can control and forget about the rest. So I can't control the hand I'm dealt, but I can control how I play the cards. And so what I'm optimizing for, what professionals are optimizing for, is how well they play the cards, the quality of their decisions. I have sessions where legitimately I win money and I'm upset because I know that I either could have won more, and not because I'm greedy, but I know that I hold myself to the highest standard possible, and because I didn't live up to my ability, I'm upset that I didn't play my best. It's not about the money, it's not about the vanity. That's a way of keeping score. It's about, did I live up to my capacity with the quality of my decisions? I have other sessions where I lose money, yet I'm elated because I know that I lost money because I had kings to ace king and took a bad beat, but I know that I trapped him properly and I played my hand well and I made all these good quality micro decisions that would have accumulated to me winning long term, but the cards simply didn't fall my way today, and so I could sleep well at night knowing that I played my best. So that's the concept here that I'd like you to consider, Josh, and you guys watching, is what are you optimizing for? And in poker, in a game where there is luck, in a game where you're playing with these set of rules and parameters, you have to optimize if you want to have any level of sanity for the quality of your decisions, because that's something you can control. It's something you can improve, and it's ultimately what's going to get you the result you want, which is the outcome. You want the outcome of winning more money. What's going to get you to win more money? It's focusing on what you can control and the inputs, which is playing the hand the best way possible. So what I like to do is I like to bring that to the forefront of my mind every time I'm playing a session. And I talked about this in the other video about the mental game, but I like to bring my center, my focus back to the center, the present moment, and say, what can I do to play this hand, this next hand the best way possible? What can I do to optimize my decision making? And when I do that, I feel this sense of confidence and calm because now I have something that I can focus on. Now I have something that's within my control. And in a game of uncertainty and luck, like poker, where there's an element of uncertainty and luck, it's really refreshing to feel like I'm optimizing for something that I can control. It brings the focus back to me on what I can control. It brings the decision making back into something that I feel empowered that I can do. And I know, I trust the odds. The math never lies. If I continue to make the best decision possible, I continue to put money in when I'm a favorite, I continue to outplay my opponents, I will win. Like the house always wins in Vegas because they have an edge. I will always win in poker if I have an edge and I manage my money correctly and I reach the long term. So I'm really focused on that. I'm focused on how do I play the hand the best way possible? What inputs can I use to put myself in to focus on the quality of my decisions, and what strategies can I use from the mental game, which is why I told you to check out that other video about how I can play the hand the best way possible so that I could focus all my attention on those inputs. I hope you enjoyed this. If you like this content, subscribe to our channel. More awesome content's coming your way about the mental game, about the mindset, bankroll management, hand of the days, how to play poker better. So subscribe here to take your game to the next level. Thanks for your attention. You guys are awesome, and I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.